This is another Turbine Guy Network special investigative report.
Turbine Guy coming back at you with part 2 of what I promised when we went over to Matt Johnson's property and saw his illegal structure. And by the way, it's been declared an illegal structure by the city of Orono if you look right up here at official documents I found online. And while that's good news and all, that's not what this video is really about. This video is about someone who lives right across the street from me in that garage and that house. You see, to the Turbine Guy, people who live in glass houses shouldn't be throwing stones. And as you can remember, watch this quick video clip right here. The neighbor across the street was upset at what Matt Johnson was doing on his property.
Saying that Matt Johnson, that guy pisses me off. Because he's, he's a typical realtor. Rules don't apply.
And while he was correct, and I appreciate the news tip because, you know what? We got to hold them accountable too, right? This guy's got his own issues. You see, not just him, but his wife, Dave and Jody Ron, actually signed a contract with the city of Orono. And that contract has been in violation since about the day it was signed. And the city of Orono's never done anything about it. They spent all this time going after me on subjective issues to deal with green energy, and they got a direct contract violation behind me. They can't be bothered to look backwards when they're staring at the Turbine Guy's property at City Hall, I guess. But that contract's called a resolution. And a little bit of history on this house. The house back there was built without that garage and room above it. They call it a bonus room. Years ago, after we had moved in, they bought the property, knocked down a cabin, kept a wall, and built it. And part of the reason it was built down where it is and not moved back because of the code was because there's a low area on the property. So they got special dispensation, and they were able to build a double-decker garage up here to keep their stuff. Because down on the bottom, they got garage door type stuff too. However, citing safety standards and because his grandma or mom fell down the steps going in, they said they needed a garage down there to be safe. And that's where the resolution comes into play. Now, mind you, this Dave Ron has not only been on the Orono Planning Commission, but he's been appointed to the city council. So this is a guy who knows and understands ordinances and what's going on. In fact, Dave Ron was a building inspector for communities and for University of Minnesota. So this guy's life was not just about approving buildings as they go, but making other people's lives miserable when they found code violations, such as his violations right behind us here. See, to get this garage and quote-unquote bonus room down there that they use for their safety reasons, they were required and signed a contract that said they would remove that garage door and that area where they have the trailer parked would not be used for a driveway anymore. Yet for some reason, it would be kept natural. But for some reason, what do we have right there? We still got a garage door, indirect violation of their contract, and you can see they use that, and we see it all the time in the summer. They park all kinds of cars up there. Something else that they signed was they would not increase the hardcover on the property, and this was their original driveway. But you can see right there that they actually added driveway and added hardcover to it, and that's in direct violation of their contract as well. And you know what? I didn't even mention that window they put on that garage back there without a permit, which according to how badly Orono went after me for 100% zoning compliance, is 100% illegal window without that permit. Crazy thing is, though, when you read in this resolution, what does it say? Boom. Violations of this resolution are a misdemeanor. Doesn't say maybe. They are. So Dave and Jody Ron are up for misdemeanors. And that the variance is thus null and void because of the violations. So what's Orono going to do? Are they going to make them take that bonus room down? Are they going to criminally prosecute these people like they did for my wife and I? I mean, we were prosecuted over viewpoints of ordinances. These guys have a signed contract they violated. This is contract law, and this is actually pretty simple to solve. You all may be wondering, well, heck, why are you turning these guys in? I mean, you aren't supposed to rat each other out, but you don't know who this guy is. We call him the double agent for a reason, because he comes over and he'll get evidence on you and then go turn you in, which has happened before. Even recently, when my truck back here had to get towed in because a tranny died, that guy across the street made the tow truck pull my truck sideways to get it on instead of simply allow the tow truck to use the top of his driveway to grab my truck. That's the type of person I'm living next to. He don't care what he does to my truck. He can't be a helpful neighbor. But you know what, Turbine Guy? If I can get someone I'm mad at, I'm going to try to use you. How typical of the people who live in this community that they can't bother to look at themselves, but they're all worried about everybody else.
Saying that Matt Johnson, that guy pisses me off because he's a typical realtor. Rules don't apply. And
welcome to Orono, Minnesota. This guy Dave Ron behind me, he was on the Orono Council when they first chose to sue the Turbine Guy and refused to talk to me, refused to accept green energy into the community, and did everything they could to outlaw me. He was behind that as much as anybody else. So there you have it. Dave Ron and his wife Jody, both guilty of violating a contract resolution they signed with Orono, which requires misdemeanor prosecution as well as a retraction of that resolution, of that variance. We'll wait to see what happens. This is how Orono is. People too worried about others and not worried about themselves. Turbine Guy
saying that Matt Johnson, that guy pisses me off because he's a typical realtor. Rules don't apply. And